Hello everybody and welcome back or welcome to my channel. This is Sophia and today's pick a card reading is going to be a fun little reading for you guys. So we're going to be trying to answer the question, what psychic abilities do you have, if any? So I thought this would be a really fun reading to do, just like a, very lighthearted pick a card reading that I think people would like to enjoy, since I know a lot of people out there feel that they may have some kind of psychic abilities and they just want some confirmation about that. Or if you feel like you're developing psychic abilities, that's also, of course, possible. Developing psychic abilities is a journey and it's something that takes time. So, yeah, so I just thought this would be a fun reading to do. I apologize for my absence this past week and a half. I decided to take a little break because I'm going to be going back to school soon, so I wanted to enjoy my time at home, and I also just wanted to let my channel grow a little bit, let people find my channel, take a look at the videos that I've already done, give it a like, and I've gotten a lot of new subscribers, so I'm so excited about that, even though I haven't been posting. So yeah, and I also I'm going to be incorporating another aspect to this pick a card, which is also why I've taken a little break. I actually am going to start charm casting. So I've been collecting charms this past week and a half, and I'm really excited to start using these charms. I was mainly inspired by Charmed Intuition Tarot. I've been watching her channel for a really long time now, since she started it, and I've always wanted to try charm casting after I saw her channel. Her videos, I mean. So thank you to Charmed Intuition Tarot for inspiring me. I'm really, really excited to start incorporating this into my videos. So along with your pick a card reading, whichever pile you choose, you will also get a charm cast. And we can see how the charms that you get connect to the cards, okay? So I didn't put any stones today. I didn't put any stones today because I do want you to try using your intuition, especially for this video. I thought it'd be appropriate to just really challenge you guys to just choose from your intuition. So we have pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. And timestamps will be in the description box, as well as any other information that you need to know about me, about personal readings, how to contact me about them. So yeah, that's it. So I will see you guys at the timestamp and at your pile. Alright, so this is for everybody who picked pile number 1. Hello, I hope you're doing well. So I'm going to lay out your cards, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to lay your charms out after I lay out the cards, but we'll talk about the cards first, and then we'll talk about the charms after we talk about the cards, if that makes sense. I just kind of blabbered all that out, but okay. Trying to do this quickly because this is always the most awkward part of the video. Okay, I'm going to also try and get everything into frame because I did pull a lot of cards, so that's interesting. Okay, so I'm just going to pull your charms right away, and I'm sorry, this is going to get really loud. I might shake the camera, sorry. Lots of letters. Ooh. Okay, so I'm going to put this aside for now, and we'll take a look at the charms in a second. But from what I'm seeing here, pile number 1, I think you guys are very good at manifestation, or you will be if you, or you might have a sense that you're good at manifestation. I'm getting that with a new start is coming. So there's definitely a sense of like you are able to manifest the things that you want into your life, or you're good at manifestation skills. I also get that with the 10 of Cups. The 10 of Cups is about fulfillment. It's about, kind of reaching a goal, like a goal is finally reached. So with those two together, I definitely see manifestation. Also Page of Cups, Page of Cups talks about news about love coming to a person. So you could be specifically good at manifesting love into your life. And again, by love, it doesn't have to be romantic love. It can be any kind of love. So you might be good at just manifesting good energy into your life, even when you're down. It actually might be when you're down that you're even better. Because we have the Three of Swords here, which it's interesting because it talks about heartbreak. So I think that you also might be good at just manifesting things out. I think you're good at just letting only the good things come into your life, and if anything, manifesting a better future for yourself, especially with this Ten of Cups. I'm definitely getting that. It's interesting because we have nothing is yet set in stone. So again, I feel like you're very good at letting go of the things that don't serve you anymore and then bringing in the things that do serve you. So, yeah, I just think that you're also very self-aware, which I know isn't exactly a psychic ability, but it kind of ties in. And it's interesting that I mentioned that because we have chaos and conflict here, and also the truth be told card. So with these two together, I think you're very good. Also, you may have even a little bit, you may also just be, I want to say claircognizant. I'm pretty sure that's the right term. But whatever, like you're psychic in the sense that you're able to kind of know things, like kind of like you just know things about a certain situation. Like you're very good at how do I explain this, like feeling out a situation. Like you just have this like gut feeling that something isn't serving you, and so you're able to manifest better things as a result of that, if that makes sense. I'm pretty sure that's claircognizance. I don't know why I'm blanking on the terms here. But yeah, so I feel like in terms of the chaos and conflict card, I think that's just touching on the fact that you've probably encountered some chaos and conflict, but it's more of ahead of time that things aren't going to turn out well. So again, with this truth be told card, you kind of know the truth before other people do. You just have, again, like this gut feeling, this like psychic like knowledge that things might not turn out the way that they should, or not turn out in a good way. So I think, again, you're able to manifest a better ending for yourself, because again, we do have the Ten of Cups and the Page of the Ten of Cups and the Page of Cups. And again, I think the Three of Swords and the chaos and conflict are an indication that yes, like you've encountered difficult situations, but you're able to manifest something better because of your ability to know the truth. So I think you're just able to, what exactly it is that you need to manifest. And again, nothing yet is set in stone. I think that's the kind of mentality that you're able to take is, like things can be changed. So I think you make a conscious effort to change things for the better, like for everybody involved, especially for yourself. And I think you're just able to start fresh despite all the chaos and the conflict that you may encounter in your situations that you get into. It's interesting because we have Cosmic Egg too. And so the Cosmic Egg is actually in this deck, the Animal Spirit deck by Kras. This is the very last card in the deck. So it's about, basically like about reaching a state of complete self-awareness, of complete like spiritual awakening. So in terms of whether you guys even have psychic abilities, like definitely you do. And I think you're probably more advanced in terms of psychic abilities. Again, I think with the Truth Be Told card, I think again you just are naturally psychic in the sense that you know things before other people do. Like you just have this, your gut feeling about a certain situation that ends up being right, and you just get this like strong vibe about certain situations, especially when it comes to complicated situations, like either ones that you're involved with or ones that you're just watching happen. But again, like I think you just are very matured in a spiritual way, and I think that really that's why you're so good at manifesting. Like I think that things that you want to come into fruition do end up coming into fruition at the right times. So but I'm sure that you guys have gone through a lot to get to that kind of place, like because we have the Three of Swords, and we do have the chaos and conflict. So I think you guys have gone through a lot of spiritual awakening type experiences, and you've been through things that have forced you to really reconsider how you think about certain situations. Again, I think you've developed this mentality of nothing yet is set in stone, so everything can change if you just give it time, and if you just believe and you just manifest better things, and so I think that's something you're very good at. You're also probably very patient too. We have the Three of Wands here, and again, the Three of Wands is again a card of like watching things come into fruition, watching your ships come into the harbor, like just really good at bringing good things into your life. So I know I've said manifestation a bunch of times. And we have the cheetah here, which is cool. I think the cheetah, you know, it talks about somebody who's very like fast moving, somebody who's very like somebody who's also very ambitious too, and somebody who can be very like self-assured. So again, with the in terms of maturity, but I think too it's also a thing of sometimes you can go into something with a lot of speed, with too much speed, and so sometimes you know, I think it's important to like slow down and slowly allow yourself to take in everything of a situation. But the cheetah is again like very ambitious, very like self-assured. Like I'm getting a very self-assured vibe from this pile, which definitely does make me feel like you guys already kind of know that you have psychic abilities, and you know, you already know that you're very good at manifesting things. The cheetah card could mean that your manifestation skills are very advanced in the sense that things that you want manifested into your life kind of just happen. Like you really make an effort to manifest them, and then they kind of just happen, which is pretty cool. That's an awesome skill to have, an awesome spiritual skill to have. So yeah, so in terms of your charms, with the Two Hearts, this is like my soulmate charm. So again, like with the manifesting specifically love, I think with the Page of Cups, that too is like, I think that's mainly what we're talking about here. Is I think for some reason like manifesting love in specific is what you're good at. Also with the Three of Swords, I think you guys have probably gone through a lot of heartbreak in the past, so you could be just good at manifesting better people, people who really love you. And also the Ten of Cups too talks about family, so you could also like manifest a better familial situation too. I think it's interesting that we got the heart charm, and we have like a lot of cup energy here, and just like a lot of tarot cards that are specifically allude to love in specific. What else do we have? So we have these letters right here: M, L, K, Q, a Z, and an E. So those might be initials. Those letters might mean something to you. Oops, sorry, I keep shaking the camera. You guys we have a excuse me. We have a Virgo charm here, so you guys might be Virgos. We have the bike charm here. For me, the bike charm is also, it's forward movement. It's also about some kind of like innocence for me, because when I think bikes, I think for some reason for me, my mind goes to children. Because I like as a kid, like a lot of people would ride bikes. But I think in this case it could mean like it means forward movement, like being able to manifest things, like things come to you. And also it's interesting because we have the bike charm and we have the cheetah, so like, you know, like two very fast moving things. Well, a cheetah's not a thing, it's a person. Or not a person, what am I talking about? It's an animal. A living thing is what I meant to say. We also have the 1. We have 1, so that might be a life path number. I have the dominoes here as life path numbers. We have the 10 of Wands too. We have 2 wands. We have 3. Oh, we got 3 of Wands again. Look at that. That's pretty cool. So we have the 3 of Wands. You got 2 3 of Wands. So yeah, definitely manifestation. Manifestation is basically the biggest thing with you guys. So we have, yeah. So you guys got 2 3 of Wands. It's really cool. And then we have the 10 of Wands, which is interesting. Oh, there it is. So then we have the 10 of Wands, which is interesting. So again, like, the 10 of Wands is about feeling overwhelmed. So having a lot on your plate. So again, I think it's interesting with the truth be told. I think that sometimes you feel that knowing things before they happen or like having gut feelings can be overwhelming to you, because usually you're right. So it's kind of like with great power comes great responsibility. Sorry, my air conditioning just turned on if you heard that. But yeah, I think it's this feeling of with great power comes great responsibility. So sometimes your ability to like correctly predict how certain situations are going to go down can sometimes be a bit overwhelming to you. But I think that after all, like I think it all ends up working out, because again, I think you've been able to reach this mentality of nothing is yet set in stone. Interesting, we have the message in a bottle here. So again, I think that you have like this truth that you have to sometimes bottle up because you don't want to start chaos and conflict. Like, knowing the truth sometimes is hard because you don't want to hurt anybody. So I think that's what this message in a bottle charm is alluding to, is the fact that you know the truth. And again, with the key, you know, like you have the key to the truth. So again, like I think that is claircognizance. So both manifestation and claircognizance are probably very big with you guys. And again, you guys could be Virgos. And yeah, so I think that's it, you guys. So I hope that you enjoyed this reading. Let me know down in the comments if it resonated. You can of course also let me know if you have any videos that you want to see coming up. I'd be happy to do them. So yeah, I hope to see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much. Alright, hello everybody who picked pile number 2. So I'm going to lay out your cards, and then I'm actually going to pull your charms after I lay out the cards, and then we'll go over what the cards are saying, and then we'll connect them to the charms that you got in the cast, okay? So, change in the wind, higher power. Okay, so in terms of the yes or no question of whether you even have psychic abilities, definitely. Be bold to make the first move, surrender to the divine, octopus. You guys are very intelligent. Judgment, death, interesting. Queen of Cups and Four of Cups. Okay. Oh, good. Everything's in frame. Hurrah. Okay, so I'm just going to pull your charms right away. Sorry if it's a little loud in the camera. I apologize in advance. Sorry if I, like, accidentally, like, hit the camera, too. I'm, like, in an awkward position here. I'm also, yeah, so. Lots of charms. Okay. I'll put this to the side here. All right, you guys, so pile number 2. Let's see what we have here. So, I mean, what's sticking out to me right away is this higher power card right here. So I think you're able to either communicate with spirits, or you feel like a deep connection to spiritual beings. You may feel like you have like a guardian angel or somebody watching over you, which is pretty cool. The death card's also sticking out to me. With the death card, of course, always talks about transformation, and the judgment card too. I want to say that you guys are also claircognizant, like pile number 1. I mean, pile number 1 was more about manifestation than claircognizance. Ooh, sorry, you guys. Hold on one second. Sorry about that, you guys. I just wanted to double check really quickly that I was using the right term there. So yeah, I definitely feel like overall you guys are probably claircognizant, but it's interesting because I think like you're claircognizant to the degree that you really just know, like really, like usually what you think is, what you perceive is going to happen, or what you infer is going to happen, really 99% of the time does happen. And so I think that definitely overwhelms you, because we have the Four of Cups here. So the Four of Cups talks about usually it talks about somebody who kind of rejects opportunities. And so I feel like in terms of you guys, like in terms of just the image here in this card, you see that this man's like very, he seems very stressed out. And so I think for you guys, sometimes this ability to just know, this like just knowing is very overwhelming for you, because you know the truth before anybody else does. And so I think that overwhelms you, because sometimes it's a curse. Like sometimes you feel like it's a curse. And again, with this death card, like death talks about like new beginnings, about transformation. So I feel like you kind of are definitely aware of when things are going to change. Like you can feel like a change in the wind, basically, which I think kind of goes with the imagery here, because we have the, you know, the mist, and, you know, like this person's just about to like kind of cut the cord here. So, you know, they're about to just make a change. So I think that you're very aware of when things are changing around you. So you're just very in tune with your surroundings. So again, there's like this claircognizance, this, you know, just knowing, quote unquote, from you guys. And also judgment. So I feel like you guys like have to make a lot of judgment calls, because I think when you know so much already, and you're so in tune with like this higher power, when you're so in tune with spiritual beings and like very in tune with your spirituality, it can be really hard to know when to say what you want to say. And I think you guys have to make a lot of judgment calls about when is an appropriate time to kind of say what you're feeling. And it's interesting because we have be bold and make the first move. So I feel like a lot of the time you feel pressured to say what's on your mind, even though, you know, things haven't happened yet. So you also might have precognition. You might, with precognition is the ability to kind of know future events. So I feel like you're just, again, very good at kind of being in tune with the changes in your surroundings and knowing what's going to happen next. And so I think that's very overwhelming for you. Again, it's interesting because we have change in the wind and death. So again, change is really big. So you guys really know when things are changing around you. I think you're very, very aware, excuse me, you're very aware of when things are changing around you, when people change, just like very, very, very perceptive, like incredibly perceptive. And again, claircognizance as well as precognition. I also like that you guys got the octopus. Sorry, I just shook the camera. The octopus is a very, very intelligent animal, but sometimes they almost know too much and they're too intelligent. So again, I think this goes with the Four of Cups. So I think a lot of the time, you know, you have a sense of knowing the truth. Like there's like very much a sense of knowing things that other people either are in denial about or they don't want to accept. So a lot of the time I think you, again, going back to the judgment and the be bold and make the first move, I think you just kind of have to, like, you find yourself in a difficult position to having to say things that other people refuse to say, even though you know that you're right. So again, very perceptive, very extremely claircognizant, but I think that you feel very overwhelmed by it a lot of the time, because again, you're so mature and so in tune with other people's emotions and other people's tendencies that I think you sometimes say things that other people don't want to hear. And it's interesting because we have the hyena here. So the hyena is an animal that's very sarcastic and witty. So I think you try and come off as, you know, kind of jokingly telling what you know, like saying it in a very jokingly sarcastic way, but you actually mean it. So I think this is like your defense mechanism. Like I think you try and outwardly appear like the hyena who's just joking around and like being sarcastic about what you know, but on the inside you know that what you're saying is the actual truth, if that makes sense. I know it's a bit complicated, but you're definitely in tune with some higher power, because we have surrender to the divine too. So I think that's a message for you too, to just kind of accept the fact that I don't want to say that you're better than everybody, because that's just cocky, but you know what I mean, like accept the fact that you're just very perceptive, like you're more perceptive than other people, and that sometimes you're going to be able to see things that other people can't see, basically, is what I'm getting. But again, like, I think that for you, you already know that you can't say certain things to certain people because you know that's not what they want to hear. So I think a lot of the time you feel maybe even like you start rejecting. I just got this message that sometimes maybe you reject meeting new people because you don't want to have to deal with like getting to know the person so well that you know what their next move is going to be, if that makes sense. Like, I think that you have the ability to get to know somebody so well that you're just very aware of all of their actions and their behaviors, so you kind of just know what their next move is going to be, if that makes sense. And so again, with this judgment card, I feel like you have to decide how you're going to handle that when you know so much about the person without even trying. And then we have the Queen of Cups too, and I think the Queen of Cups is just, it's just a note that you're very loving people, and you're, you do it out of love. I think that you want to tell the truth, like you want, you're very, again, like you're very mature, you're very perceptive, you know almost too much, but you want to be able to tell people these things out of a loving place, like you don't want to hurt anybody, but it's hard because change is a very hard thing for people, and so I think you're always constantly experiencing change yourself because you always know what's coming, like always know when change is coming, you always know when other people's lives are going to change because of certain things. So again, it's just like an overall message of the fact that you just know things, this claircognizance. So with the charms here, we have a couple of letters. We have a G, an R, a Z, and an I. We have our little Hello Kitty charm. So again, like Hello Kitty for me is just like she's a very like sweet character, so I think like you guys are very sweet. Again, like I think with the Queen of Cups, like you don't want to hurt anybody, like you don't mean to like say things that people don't want to hear, you're doing it out of love. So I think that's what the Hello Kitty charm is alluding to. We have the Sun card here, the Sun charm here, which is interesting. So like the Sun charm for me is also like the Sun card. So I think that, like you go through, it's interesting because we have change and death. And so I think that it's a sign that you guys go through temporary changes. Like you might like experience temporary changes just because of certain situations. Like I think I'm just getting this message that you might like have temporary changes in friends because you might how do I explain this? Like you might piss off people involuntarily by what you know, and so then they don't want to be around you, but then once they kind of go through their own, like, they kind of have, like, their come to Jesus moment, like, they come back to you and you're like, oh, you were right, if that makes sense. It's like you're always that person that says the things that nobody wants to hear, but you know you're right, so you say it anyway, but it pisses people off. But then they come back to you. Does that make sense? Yeah, anyway. And it's interesting because we have the owl charm. So the owl for me is wisdom. So again, like, you're very, very wise. You're very mature. Again, emphasizing that you just know things. You just know things. Like, you just know. You're very intuitive. That's the word I've been looking for. Wow, you're very intuitive. Again, with the claircognizance, very intuitive. Also this too, again, usually for me this little bear charm is talks about innocence. So I think you're coming, again, like with the Hello Kitty charm, like you're coming from a place of love. Like you're coming from a place of wanting to help people, which also again goes with the Queen of Cups. But I think that people take it the wrong way because it's what you say is not what they want to hear in the moment, but then they end up coming to you later saying that you were right, if that makes sense. So we have a 9 and a 1. So I use the dominoes as life path numbers. So maybe your life path number is a 1 or a 9 if you know that. I have little state charms, so maybe you happen to be from Texas or from the South. Who knows? That's just a little charm that I put in there for fun. We have the Four of Wands here. We have the Six of Pentacles, so which talks about balance. So again, I think you try and balance. It's interesting because we have the Six of Pentacles, and then we have the Judgment card, if I can here it is. So again, like Judgment, it's like finding a balance between when to say what you want to say and when to hold back. So I think, again, like you have that challenge of, you know, you have to decide whether it's better to just let things happen as they happen or whether to kind of intervene for the good of everybody in the situation. You guys also got the Three of Wands here. So again, like I think you kind of just wait for things to happen. Again, I think that might be an indication that sometimes you kind of just let things happen and then you kind of have an I told you so moment. And then we have the Five of Swords. Yeah, so Five of Swords talks about conflict. So again, I think you get yourself sometimes in sticky situations because again, you just know things and you tell people things that they don't want to hear. And then we have Four of Wands. So yeah, I think at the end of the day, like again, you want people to be happy. Like you want people to reach a happy state. And so again, Four of Wands is about celebration. It's about happy endings. So I think at the end of the day, you know, again with the temporary changes, with the sun charm too, I think you just go through temporary changes with people because in the moment you tell them things they don't want to hear because you know what's going to happen, but they have a come to Jesus moment, and then, you know, like you end up being with them again, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think that's all that I'm getting for you, pile number 2. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that resonated. Let me know down in the comment sections if it did, as well as if you any other videos that you want to see. I'm happy to do them. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Alright, hello everybody who picked pile number 3. So I'm going to lay out your cards first, and then I'm going to actually do your charms right away, but I'm going to go through the cards before we look through the charms that you guys got, okay? So let's lay out your cards. Interesting. Okay, so I'm going to pull your charms right now. So I'm going to apologize in advance. It might get a little loud. I hope not too loud. I also might accidentally shake the camera because of how my setup is. So I apologize in advance for that too. But okay. Flip these over first. Got a lot of letters. Okay, so let's look at your cards first. So, pile number 3. Do you have psychic abilities, and if so, what are they? So this is what I'm seeing. So in all honesty, pile number 3, I think that you're on the path to really honing in on your psychic abilities. The reason that I say that you don't for sure have them is because we have the Five of Wands and the Seven of Wands here. So these two are both they're cards about conflict, and I'm seeing a lot of contradictions in this pile of cards. So the fact that we even have like the Five of Wands and both the Five of Wands and the Seven of Wands, for me is like a sign that you yourself might not be sure that you have psychic abilities, and so that's actually preventing you from really being able to use the psychic abilities that you actually do have, if that makes sense. So in terms of, it's like a mixed bag. So I think you do have psychic abilities, but you're not being able to properly use them because you doubt yourself, if that makes sense. And I'm getting a lot of self-doubt with these two Moonology cards here. A win outcome is forecast, but then we have nothing will come out of this situation. So they're very conflicting cards. So I think that for you guys, there's a lot of like uncertainty. Like I think that you guys are too uncertain of yourselves to be able to, for your psychic abilities to really be able to come into fruition themselves, if that makes sense. I think that you may be right now going through a situation where there's a lot of conflict, but I think that this is more about conflict within yourself, if anything. I think that there's a lot of self-doubt. I think like in this image, like these people who are pointing their wands at this witch, I think that's actually your own doubt, if that makes sense. I know that's very like symbolic and like there's a lot of like that's very, yeah, again, like it's very symbolic, but I think that's the truth. Like I think that you have a lot of self-doubt and you feel very unsure of the fact that you even have psychic abilities. I think you feel that you may, but you're not exactly either sure, or you feel like you're not really being able to hone them in the right way or hone them well enough, if that makes sense. And I think that it causes a lot of conflict within yourself because you have a lot of self-doubt, if that makes sense. But I think in terms of if and when you'll be able to reach a point where you can feel like you do have them, I think once you do, you're actually going to be able, it's actually interesting, I think you'll end up being a lot like pile number 1. If you want to go check out pile number 1 after this, pile number 1 is very good at manifestation. They had a lot of manifestation skills. And so it's the reason I'm thinking manifestation here as well is because of 7 of Pentacles. And also the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is somebody who just is very, very, he lives lavishly. He has all this fruitful things, like fruitful in his career, fruitful in his love life. So, you know what it is? I think what's happening is I think that you are struggling with manifesting things, and I think that it's causing this this self-doubt. And the 5 of Wands could actually be alluding to a situation where you're trying to manifest something better, but you actually aren't really being able to, and it's backfiring on you. So I think that because you're not being able to manifest the things that you want right now, you're having a lot of self-doubt, and it's causing you to not be able to really allow yourself to manifest the proper way, if that makes sense. I think you're actually limiting yourself because we have the by the book card right here. So for me, the by the book card is an indication that you're too rigid, you're too almost self-deprecating, if that makes sense. Like I think that you doubt yourself way too much, and the minute that things don't manifest right away, you kind of I don't want to say you give up, but you get very discouraged like really easily when things don't manifest the way that you want. But it's interesting that the 7 of Pentacles card came up because, the 7 of Pentacles talks about a slow growing of a seed. You know what I mean? Like the 7 of Pentacles talks about planting seeds. So again, this to me is an indication that your psychic abilities are plants that are just now being seeded and that they're going to take time to grow. And it's interesting because we have the regeneration card. So again, this is again a very strong indication that they're still growing. You see this tree is like coming back to life. So I think that your psychic abilities are just now coming to fruition themselves, not just the things that you're trying to manifest. So I think that your ability to manifest is slowly growing, but it's not quite there yet, if that makes sense. But I think it's because you get very easily discouraged when things don't manifest either the way that you want them to, or they don't manifest fast enough for you. Like you want things to manifest right away. And just a note about manifestation, like manifestation a lot of the time takes a long time, especially if it's something that if you want to manifest either a person or love or a career opportunity. Like a lot of things take a lot of time to manifest. It's not like you try you know, manifesting it one day and the next day it happens. Like, that's not how it works. But I think that you just, like, you have a lot of self-doubt when that happens, because, again, with these two Moonology cards that are contradicting themselves, like, a win-win outcome is forecast, so at first you think, oh, yeah, like, maybe, and then nothing will come out of the situation. So I think this is, like, the mentality that you end up taking, is that, oh, nothing's happening. So I think you go from having a 50-50 chance of believing it, and then you kind of just go to, no. Like, you know what I mean? I think, again, you just get very easily discouraged, which is a shame. Like, I get it. Like, I used to be the same way, honestly, when I started trying to, like, when I started learning that manifesting was a thing. Like, I didn't even really know the term manifestation, but I used to get frustrated in the same way. Like, when things wouldn't happen the way I wanted them to, even though I, like, felt like I was doing everything I could to make a certain situation happen the way I wanted it to, it still wouldn't work, and so I'd get very discouraged. But again, be reminded that it takes time. Even, you know, like, it's going to take time for even your skills, whatever they are, to come to fruition, if that makes sense. But I think if you do let them and you're not so rigid with yourself and you don't self-doubt so much, I think that you could be really good at manifesting great things into your life. You know what I mean? And I think that you can be you could have a very fruitful life. I think you can manifest a lot of success if you just are patient, if that makes sense. It's interesting because I get, with these two, with the sea serpent and the peacock, you know, both of these talk about inner beauty. So I think that you guys are very beautiful people, like, inside and outside, which I know is really, really corny, so I apologize for that, but I think that you guys are really like, you have very beautiful souls, and I think that, I just get this sense that you guys are very harsh on yourselves. Like, you're very harsh on yourselves, and you're not patient with yourself, in addition to just the universe. I think you want things to just happen, but I think that, with these two cards here, I think that it's important to really hone in on that inner beauty and trust yourself. Like, I think you should give yourself more credit where credit is due, if that makes sense. And it's interesting because with your charms, we have the inner beauty charm, which is perfect. This is my inner beauty charm. You see this heart, and then it has, like, this blooming flower inside. So again, like, you guys have a lot of inner beauty. I think you guys are very, very beautiful people. You have beautiful souls. You're very, you know, everybody likes you, basically. But I think that the only person that you're really, really hard on is yourself. So I think, and I think I talked about, like, self-deprecation earlier with the 5 of Wands and the 7 of Wands. So I think, again, that's a sign that, you know, I think Spirit wants you to not be so self-deprecating and not be so, not have so much, like, self-doubt and self-conflict. And I think that's going to really help you be able to allow your psychic abilities to grow, if that makes sense. I also see that we have, for me, this charm is the World charm. This also actually, this happens to be the Cancer constellation, so you guys might be Cancers. So yeah, like, but for me, this charm, even though it is the Cancer constellation, I use it as the, as my World charm. So I think that you guys have the ability to manifest whatever it is that you want into your life. But again, like, I think because you have so much inner beauty, like, I think that you guys have that potential. But I think you're, like, with this bottle cap, I think that you're preventing yourself, again, with this, where is it? With this by the book card, it goes with the bottle cap, because I think you're bottling up your abilities without even realizing it, because you have so much self-doubt, if that makes sense. We have a 7 here, and it's interesting because 7, I use the dominoes as life path numbers. Every pile got 1 as a life path number, but 7 is a life path number. 7 in general is about a number more about spirituality. So I think you guys definitely have psychic abilities inside of you, if that makes sense. Which also could be why we have the inner beauty cards and the inner beauty charm, if I can find it. Yeah, there it is. But I think that makes a lot of sense because I think you guys have the ability to manifest great things if you just let yourself and you don't doubt yourself as much. We also have the, excuse me, we have the Queen of Cups. So again, like, you guys are probably very beautiful, loving people. And then we also have the Jack of Hearts, which for me is the Page. So the Page of Cups. So again, I think you guys do have great manifestation abilities inside of you. You just need to not doubt yourself so much, basically. And then we have an Aquarius here. So you guys might be an Aquarius. Again, you could be a Cancer. This is the Cancer constellation, but again, I use it as my world charm, but you guys also could be a Cancer. Oh, we have another letter here. We have a U, so we have a lot of letters. We have a W, a P, an E, an S, a B, and an O. And a U. So yeah, you guys, I have a few state charms in here for fun, so you guys might be from California, but who knows? So yeah. So yeah, guys, so that's what I'm getting for you, pile number 3. I hope that resonated for you guys. Let me know down in the comment section if it did, and I hope to see you guys in my next video, okay? Thank you so much.